Pure cowboy shit.
Welcome back inside the Brahma Boot Studio. My name is Ted Stoven, and this is Cowboy Shit. Joining me once again this afternoon. It's actually a sunny, warm Monday afternoon in Calgary, Alberta. I don't know what day it is you're listening to this. Doesn't really matter. But joining me on the other line, Mr. James Foley.
Sheesh. Weather's nice.
Oh, man, the snow is melting around here. It feels like spring already, but I know that this is only the first rendition of Fool's Spring.
Uh, I feel like it'd be way better if like just January gave us a week of nice weather every year. Just 1 week in January, 1 week in February, help with the seasonal depression with everybody. You know what I mean? It perks you up. You go outside, you go, "Oh, that's nice. That warm weather's nice." And then you just keep on giving.
Playing hockey last night, Foley, and one of the guys wore shorts to the hockey game. That's how
Oh,
tropical it was in Calgary last year. Buddy was wearing shorts. Another guy was wearing some form of Crocs. Both guys do work at golf courses, but they were feeling pretty tropical for January was 11th yesterday.
nothing. There's no better feeling than wearing a pair of shorts to the hockey rink.
I but if it's that time of the year, I'd rather go golf.
Oh, I played summer hockey last year. It was
Hmm.
unreal. Showing
Well,
up in shorts, sandals.
yeah, it is. I will agree it is fun. It feels like you're like a California hockey player at that point.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at Florida, driving
Yeah,
my golf cart to the rink,
yeah, that'd
living
be
the
nice.
life.
That'd be
Yeah.
nice. Man, I forgot. I gotta give a shout out to my brother. He got married on the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
congrats.
Jimmy in Lake Louise. So my brother James and his wife Sam now, they've got a couple little boys. They're my nephews now. They call me Uncle Ted. One of the best things
Nice.
ever, Foley. I gotta say, it's pretty cool.
N Not Uncle Will, just Uncle Ted.
I don't think they know that my other name's Will yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
now when they get older, then they can break into that
Yeah, I'll
transition.
show them about Uncle Will. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You could have two personalities. Like
That's true.
the bad stories will be Uncle Will, good stories, Uncle Ted.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What's your experience of being an uncle?
I love it, man. I
Yeah.
love, yeah, and I'm a huge fan of when the kid cries, you just hand them off, and there's no, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, this one's broke, and then
Yeah.
you put it away. It's like going into Walmart and dinking around with stuff, and then you accidentally break it, and you put it back on the shelf, and you walk away like nobody's seen.
Wasn't me.
That's
Wasn't me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't hurt the kid. Here you go.
yeah, wasn't me.
No, kids are great. Nieces and nephews, I got a pile of them. They range from like 22 years old down to 3 years old, so it's good.
This
They enjoy hanging out with us.
I have been an uncle since I was like before I was born technically because my like a half it's only a half uncle though because they're my like half sister's kids. So it's never seemed like this one where they're younger than me and it's like
Yeah.
somebody that I hope I can be somebody they can look up to. It was more so like it was kind of funny that I was the younger one, but I was the uncle. It was a bit of a weird family dynamic at that point.
Yeah, I believe that would be a tough situation when your niece or nephew spank you. Come here, get on nephew's lap. I'm gonna
Yeah.
spank you.
Yeah, right? That yeah, it doesn't work as much.
I graduated with a girl, and sh her niece graduated 3 years before us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like actual like full niece or half niece?
Full.
Oh, really? So
I
the
think,
family was like different ages, I guess then, hey?
yeah, well, I think she was a whoops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like if she won't ever hear this, but like at our grad, I remember like we seen her parents and we're like, holy man, they're way older than we expected. And then it made sense, right? Like she was a whoops
Okay.
in the whole situation, and then
Dang.
yeah,
Huh.
was raised up with her nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Tough,
interesting.
tough dynamic. But yeah,
Hmm.
nieces and nephews, good to have around.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of fun. Man, so we're talking about warm weather. The days are getting longer. It's, for those of us up in the northern part who are listening right now, the folks in the southern hemisphere would understand it too when things change drastically. spring to summer. But for those that maybe have never been to Calgary, I know a good decent amount of our listeners are from the US, but in Calgary, the sun goes down at like four, like it's 4:24 here in Calgary right now. It's January 12th, and the sun's already on its way down. It doesn't get very high in the sky in January. It kind of just dips along the south side of the of the sky. Doesn't get super high, but it's only light from like 8 something in the morning, 8:30 to like 4:30, where now we're gaining like in the next 10 days we're getting like 20 minutes of daylight. Where up till March the days start getting long where the sun's out to clock at night. Then in the summertime it barely goes down. So for those of us way up north here in Foley, you're even further north of me. But it barely gets dark in the summertime. In the winter it barely gets light.
Yeah. Daylight savings time sucks.
I will agree with you on that. I wish that we had more than the 4:30 p.m. Because I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd just rather have the time after work kind of thing, like after the 5 p.m. buzzer rings to
Yeah. If
have the
if
daylight.
if you've never experienced driving to work in the dark and then driving home in the dark, that is the worst thing. And it happens for like the month of like pretty much
December.
yeah, December and part of November when you wake up, drive to work in the dark, and then you come home in the dark and it's just like, man.
Yeah, it should be really rough on the folks that are working inside that whole time and like just don't see the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, some people
that's
go
how it is.
inside, work, don't see the sun for 30 days.
Yeah, a little bit wild.
What's that movie, 30 Days a Night? That's what
I
it's
don't know
like in
that one.
Canada.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, have you seen it? It's like in
Uh-uh.
Alaska, the vampires, when the sun doesn't come up, they come out, and that's what Canada's like.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds like a very plausible story up here.
yeah, could happen.
Could happen. What we got some stuff coming up this past weekend, a couple weeks here. There's like the PBR like UTBs are back where they're into the 10th point scoring. I was talking to Justin Keeley this morning about something else, and then he was showing me the judge card from the short round in New York. It was like pretty interesting to see. He's like, yeah, usually we'd have a couple more ties, but they only had like one tie in that short round. There was two 91.1s, but Kimsey was on his own at 92.05, and then somebody else was like 90.05 or 91.05. So that 10th point scoring, like with the data that they talked about when the what do you call it? When the scoring, like how there's what like 90% of bull rides are judged between what 21 and 22 or something, or 20 and
Yeah,
22.
probably
Look at that.
20 and a half and 22.
Yeah,
In
given
Canada,
those.
it's probably 20 and 21 and a half.
Yeah. So it's like very, very small. So to get that variation, and I mean, to my knowledge, like all these shows are going to the 10th point. Like every PBR show anywhere is going to be 10th point now, from what I've seen so far.
Yeah,
Velocity
that's what we
tours,
got
like,
told.
yeah, so everything's 10th of a point. And what does that mean for your bull competitions were already to the, what, to the,
10th.
they were already to the
Uh,
10th? No, they were something
Yeah,
else.
no, they're to
They're point,
the
like 0.125, wasn't it? Like, cause you could have 87 and 87.375.
no, they're to the 10th. So like they get scored like 19.6, 20.4.
Oh, really?
And then
Already?
the total score I think goes to the 100th because we can be like at 85.33, 86.75.
Okay. So it's already in the ABBI stuff. It's already been
Yeah, and
downloaded.
it's been like that for a few years.
Okay.
Which like, I mean, the guys who are judging, I think that's pretty impressive. Now,
Oh yeah.
when you talk to judges, the guys that kind of explain it to you is, sometimes a bull maybe not a 22, but not a 21 and a half, and maybe a little bit better than a 21.7, so they'll 21.9 it or 21.8.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's supposed to take away ties, but you still see,
Hey,
depending on
you'll see
what
the ties.
yeah, you still see ties when the caliber of bulls are so grouped up.
Yeah.
You take four guys and all those guys' opinions are all different and you still get ties.
Yeah.
Now, I think where it does separate is like the top end of things. Those elite animals kind of are able to outstand a little bit higher and they can really show a difference. But like, I think like just a big group of bulls falls into that like 20 to 21 and a half, no
Hmm.
matter what. And then now they're just picking them as they like them type deal.
Huh. Yeah. It's been interesting to see the scores, that's for sure.
It is, it's definitely different. Like when you see a 92.05,
Yeah.
makes you wonder what a 92 and a half point bull ride would look like.
Well, could you imagine a 99.95? Like how what would that guy be like? What the hell? Who gave me the
Yeah.
99.95? Like, how do you
Which one of you judges shorted me point zero five?
right? Like
Yeah.
I wonder about like wasn't Jose like 98 and three quarters a couple years ago, like almost 100 on
Yep.
Whoopa? Like I wonder what that score would be if you put it into the tenths, like what that would end up being. I don't know.
Probably lower.
Right? It probably would be lower. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it makes the criteria a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because now there's 10 points within 1 point, if that makes sense, right? Point one, point two, point three, point four, point five,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So now you got 10 points inside a point, which then makes it a lot more difficult
What?
to get them high scores, I think.
But I wonder. I got looking at the sheets there, and like I can see them every week if I want to look and see where things are at. But like I wonder if it gives those guys a little more leeway to go higher, where they're not as worried. Like, oh, I can't mark that guy 90. He's like 44.9 instead of 45.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it gets them a little more leeway. Where like, you know what? I can do that. I can go 23.1 on a 22.9, or like I can kind of like I wonder if it kind of gives those guys a little more leeway where they're less worried about putting the 45 on the board. I wonder
Does
too.
it give, I wonder if it gives them more leeway too on the rider score.
I think it does. I think there's something to that. I forget what I read, but there's like if a guy rides a bull, there's an advantage. I forget what the whole story is, but if you ride them in the middle, you get extra. But if you're not in the middle, then you're down a bit, I think, right? Like,
Do you think the PRCA and CPRA follow suit?
hell no. The
No.
NFR only went to half points this year. Well, I'm talking half points. Those guys can only use full points up until 2025.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? This is the first year we've had quarter point scores ever at the NFR, James. Ever.
That yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like uh wasn't that long ago you were talking to somebody in Vegas. Who was the guy you were talking about like the Cowboy channel and stuff? Um
Oh, Cody Custer?
yeah, yeah, and like just like, you know, at at some point there's so much money involved that like the video replay, the whole thing with Stetson
Yeah.
and like there's too much money involved now, and too many people are seeing social media, whether you follow rodeo or not. Probably sometime in December, you've seen an NFR post
Probably.
come up on your feed, and like it was probably about some
That.
issue, yeah, some issue that happened at the NFR. And if you're a first time, or if you're not a part of it, and then that's the first thing that you see,
Introduction.
yeah, that's your sport, is everybody pissed off about a mark out or a score or something like that. Like, I think it, I think they should maybe think about things a little bit on that side, because they need to evolve a little bit. I feel like the PBR is just like taking this to another level, to take away, like they got the video replay. Now they got judges judging to the 10th. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and as a judge, your job is you're paid for your opinion, and when you give your opinion, you have to, and somebody questions it, you have to back it up.
I think that to defend the rodeo judges, it's a lot harder job in the sense of having to judge six, seven, eight different disciplines.
Right.
There's a lot of folks in rodeo that would know one very, very, very well, but even from going one end to the other, to go from time event to rough stock like that, I would never want to be a rodeo judge for the fact of I would not have enough confidence knowing about the other events well enough.
So like why don't they have like at the NFR, it's the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup, the World Series of rodeo.
Yep.
They have endless funds, right? So why not like have certain judges, you got your four
They might.
judges that do the roping and
Yeah, I don't know if
f-
that's the case or not. I know there are some that like I shouldn't talk to this. I'd have to go back and talk to somebody like Alan Jordan or, somebody that would know the whole story there, but
yeah,
the I think there is some of that on each end at the NFR. I don't know for sure, James, but I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of event specific judging at the NFR. A little bit.
for each.
I think so, yeah. Although
Yeah.
I don't think there's four judges in the timed events. Like maybe there's one guy at the box on like there's for sure one guy at the box in the barrier, right? And then one guy flagging, but then you have four in the rough stock. So I don't know the whole story. I'd have to get some more
Yeah,
details
crazy.
on that. But anyways, I don't know how much more progression the rodeo world can get on the judging just for the sense of you have to be such a generalist in the rodeo world to be a judge. And kudos to the folks that do it. The everybody at those high levels that judge rodeos. I don't think there's a ton of people that could do that job. So kudos to the
Oh,
crew that does
nobody wants to do it. You get shit
that
on all the
too.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the guy that we're crapping on right now for messing up that call for Stetson. But
Yeah, well, we weren't shitting on him. We were just saying he got shit on.
that's true too. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not making the call. I'm not a judge.
yeah.
I couldn't be because I got arthritis in my flagging hand, so I wouldn't be able to.
Wouldn't have a quick flag hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't have we wouldn't break records.
Yeah. Huh. I don't
But
know,
yeah,
man.
good for the guys that do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta be able to take the good with the bad when you do that stuff.
That's true. Well, and speaking of judging, the next judged bull riding event in Canada that I was on my calendar is the PBR Canada Cup Series, January 31st, Red Deer at the Centrium. I don't even know what the building sponsor is these days, but January 31st, Saturday night, Cup Series is back. Then we go to Lethbridge the 6th and 7th of March. James, what's your next events on your schedule? What do we got?
You know what? I haven't really talked to anybody, so I don't know.
Okay.
I've yeah,
TBD.
just been trying to get through some calves. Gonna buck some calves at the college here coming up, and
Right on.
it's
Vermilion, right?
it's yeah, man, it's cold. I don't like bucking bulls when it's cold.
It's hard on them, probably, isn't it? A little bit, just like for the
Yeah,
going in and
not
out of the climates, and
in and out of heat and cold, and I'm
yeah,
more worried about keeping shit alive than
yeah,
bucking it in
fair enough.
January, February.
Well, and this week too, the 21st to the 24th, we're in Dallas at the Western English Sales Association Spring Market. Come check out the Cowboy Shit booth there. Come check it out and get your shit for your store.
Yeah, come buy it.
Come check us out.
Put it on your shelves.
Put it on your shelves. Put it on your racks.
Watch it disappear.
Exactly. Ah, but someone we'll see there at in Dallas is our guest this week, Olivia Harms. So we had a really great visit with Olivia in it was when I got home from Vegas, kind of like right after the NFR. Had a chat with her there. So this interview's from a while back. Just for those listening, it's a little bit the time on it's a little bit away from today's date, about a month difference. But yeah, it was awesome. James, you got anything else for this part, or we'll talk to you in a couple weeks?
Couple weeks, buddy.
All right, man. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening once again. This is Cowboy Shit, proudly coming to you from the Brahma Boot Studio in Calgary, Alberta. Get those Brahma boots at your local retailer. Check them out, CanadaWestBoots.com. Thanks for supporting the Cowboy Shit podcast. And James, thanks for joining me on this top half of the show.
Thanks, Teddy.
Everybody, this is Olivia Harms. Welcome back to the show. We have a very special guest that I met just a few weeks ago in Las Vegas, Nevada. She had a big week there. And we were at Old Red, and that's Blake Shelton's bar. And she was the first one on the stage, and I got a bunch of info from her and her husband and the whole crew about the band and everybody. And I loved the way that they sounded. I couldn't tell you exactly what was on the set list now, but please welcome to the show, Olivia Harms.
Ah, thanks, Ted. I'm so glad to be here. It was so fun meeting you.
Or should I call you Live Dog?
Live Dog. I mean, we're true friends, Ted. You have to keep me and Live Dog in your phone forever.
Oh. So I got to apologize because I forget. I'm forgetting your friend's name that sent me your number now.
Oh, Chet. Yeah.
Chet.
Give
Yeah.
Chet a shout out. He's going to be so
excited.
excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Thanks, Chet.
Chet Swint. So
Yes,
Chet,
Chet Swint.
he actually listened to the show, and he was like an actual fan of the podcast before, and he just like, I don't know what happened, but she's our live dog, but it's Olivia Harms. So he sent me your contact, and it was live dog. I thought it was funny.
Yep, I don't know how that even started, but like all my true close friends now, they all refer to me as Live Dog. So I don't know if I got a little tuned up one night and
Oh
like
dear,
we let it slide as Live Dog is like my alter ego, but
that's funny.
you're in the club now.
Well, that was fun. So yeah, gotta give a shout out to Chet because he made it happen. We kind of talked briefly uh, after the event, and it was a event that Montana Silversmiths put on. I work for Montana Silversmiths, and they called me like the week before and asked if I'd help out and host the event there at Old Red. And then yeah, you guys were awesome. So glad we could connect.
Yeah, it was such a fun event. And I mean, like with coffee, and I thought that was so clever that they had, their American made line and like red, white, and blue, but they hosted it at all red, white, and
Yeah,
blue. When I saw the
yeah,
sign, I was like, that is clever.
it
I
was
like that.
genius. Yeah,
It
got to give a
was.
shout out to Marshall Smith and Grace and the whole crew, Kaylee Hill, Jade Opfer, the whole crew at Montana Silversmiths. They were, I think they were onto something there.
Yeah, they did good. And I mean, we had a blast. The band totally enjoyed it. I'm so lucky that I do have a really cool band and we get to travel and like go do a ton of things and go a ton of places, but you can tell that like the cowboy within like the fiddle player and the steel guitar player like and even bass and drums like the cowboy within is so when I'm like, "Hey, do you want to go to Las Vegas and play NFR?" and they're like, "Yeah, let's go." They get so excited. So it's kind of fun.
Well, and I might be making this up, but I think the only band that I can recall that looked the part like as real working cowboys is my word I'm going to put towards it. The only other band I've seen that looks like your band would be Coulter Wall's crew, I think. I could be wrong in saying that, but I definitely noticed that your crew, like, they were like I don't know where they're from exactly, but there was like the Northern California, Oregon, Wyoming flat top hat that, like, the steel guitar player was like rocking the flat top hat. I was like, that guy looks like he rides a horse every other day. He's not on the playing the steel guitar.
You're not wrong. And I'm compared in any way, shape, or form to Coulter Wall any day. I love that man. And I'm excited. I get to be on a festival lineup with him in 2026. But
Which one?
the
Is it the
Vaquero
Big Sky?
days.
The which show?
No, Dusty Vaquero days.
Oh yeah, Jake Zelke's show.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
literally
Jake's
texting him.
cool. Yeah, he's so fun. We love him. And so we're so tickled that we get to be a part of his show. So you pencil it in your calendar and we'll hang out again.
Yeah, that's the end of May in I forget, are they in Gillette or Casper?
Gillette. Yeah, I
Gillette?
think it's in Gillette. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be in sunny Grand Prairie, Alberta that weekend working
Well,
the
darn.
rodeo, but I appreciate the offer.
We'll still have fun for you. Don't worry.
I think I have to fly across the country to go to another show in Ontario too, but anyways, I'm sure you guys have a great time. That'll be a fun one. And like
Yeah.
talking about actual true cowboy shit, like they do that seems like a real I haven't been to it, but my assumption of like Jake's position in the industry of being the video guy and with his work on what, six continents, riding horses and cowboying
Yeah,
on
I
six
know. It's
continents.
so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is amazing. I know my fiddle player. So my fiddle player and my steel guitar player, to circle back, they're brothers and they're both from Central Oregon and they both grew up like ranching and being hands. And my fiddle player actually, when he's not playing fiddle with me, he is like he's a leathersmith, I guess is what you leather worker.
Oh
They need
yeah.
a proper name for like tooling leather and carving, but he made my guitar strap. He makes great saddles. They used to work at Hamley's in
Oh damn.
Pendleton, which
Yeah.
is like a
Legit.
very yeah,
Yeah.
super prestige.
Elite.
So yeah, so he's like my fiddle player and his brother. They are for sure cowboys. And then the bass player, he wasn't born a cowboy, but I think he wants to be one. And so we get him in whenever we're out west touring around, and they're like, "Hey, you want to hop on a horse or like help us go gather or do some cowboy shit while we're just traveling?" And he's always like, "Yeah, man." So yeah, it's been good. And then the drummer, we're easing him into it. I think there's some cowboy in his soul. I gotta get it out of him. We're gonna
Oh,
find it.
that's awesome. So I gotta ask, you've got new music. You're going in to record some new stuff here, a new song in the next little bit. I was listening the day of the event. I was trying to get a little bit of background and just understand more before I had to introduce you. And there's a few different pieces, and I'm totally did not write the names down. Give me just a sec. I gotta find it because it's literally playing on my speaker over here on the other spot. Um, Hey there, cowboy, and then this ain't my first rodeo. There's a couple there that I had noticed. There was your album, looks like from 2021, Rhinestone Cowgirl, and then this ain't my first rodeo comes out 2024, and then I'm on my way is in 2025. Uh, just for a couple of pieces. And then what about Sent from Above? When did that come out?
Yeah, Sent from Above is my newest release, and I
Yeah,
released it in August of this year.
25.
So yeah, 25. So it was just a little something that I had actually wrote for my steel guitar player and his wife for their wedding. And you got to have a love song. I tend to like write more like honky tonk cowboy music, not as many love songs. And since they inspired that one, and everybody loves to play it, and I was like, well, I guess I should get it recorded. And then I was thinking about a release date, and I was celebrating my 1 year wedding anniversary in August of 2025. So I figured there's no better time to release a love song than, right around my
Anniversary.
anniversary.
What
So
was
yeah,
what day did you guys get married in
we got
24?
married on August 10th, 2024, which was crazy that it was my grandparents' anniversary, my maternal grandparents, and they were married like 57 years or something
Oh
crazy. And then
wow.
when we told the date to his mom, my husband's mom, she's like, okay. And then she comes back to us the next day and she's like, that date really sounded familiar. And I couldn't remember why. But she said that was my grandparents or her parents' anniversary. So both of our
No
maternal
way.
grandparents got married on August 10th. And we were like,
No
okay,
way.
I think God likes this. We'll
Oh
get married.
wow.
Yeah, like that's a
I've
good God wink.
I've got a funny story for you about August of 2024.
Okay.
I was supposed to get married on August 16th because it was 8/16/24.
Okay.
Never happened. Um,
Oh, I'm sorry, Ted, but it's for the best. Look at you now.
it was for the best, yeah. So I almost got married that month too, but it was the 16th. It was gonna be a different day.
Wow, you would have been, yeah, just a week after us.
Yeah, I was thinking 8/16/24 was good numbers for a former bull rider, but maybe it was too
Yeah.
good to be true. I don't know.
Oh, well. You got someone better out there waiting, and now you
Oh,
got Live Dog.
exactly. Yeah, exactly, right. But I did talk to my coach about it, and I was like, I wonder what it'd be like to date a singer. And he's like, Ted, you're already on the road lots, and then she'd be on the road lots, and it just might be difficult to like
Yeah,
match
we're
up.
not an easy type to date. And honestly, though, I do feel like even though I never rodeoed, I mean, like I ride plenty and like do plenty of cow stuff when I'm home on the ranch, but I do think that rodeo life and musician life are almost the same. Like
Similar,
we're
hey?
constantly in a town for a night or maybe 2 nights, and then you find somebody, after the show or after the perf, and you're hanging out, and you're like, oh, this is fun. You dance or do whatever, and then on to the next town. Like you might even
Yeah.
find somebody that piques your interest, and then you're like, well, I gotta go. This is the life I chose, and
Yeah.
you roll on. And so you kind of like that's how I wrote This Ain't My First Rodeo, is because I was like, I break hearts and I don't mean to, like not flattering myself saying that I really do, but like you kind of just like roll on to the next town constantly, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, you can't slow me down. It's what I chose. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're not easy breeds to pin down.
No. But I mean, like, if my partner toured in the winter, like when I'm less busy, like we could like maybe switch off schedules, but I don't know. I know what you mean though. It's definitely
Yeah,
like
it's
it's very
tough.
similar.
Yeah, because you're like always gone on the weekends, always gone when like people are doing fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like no idea how
Weddings,
many times. Yeah, people are like,
birthdays. Yeah.
"Can you make it as my date?" And I'm like, "No,
Busy that day, sorry.
no, I can't. I'm working.
Yeah.
Like I gotta go make money, or I'm on my way to the next gig or whatever." But we look shiny, we look fun,
That's
and
true.
then they are like, "Oh, let's date a rodeo guy or a singer," and then they realize what that looks like, and then they opt out.
Yeah. I'm uh I'm excited for I'm excited for whatever the next piece is. But I'm wondering though what it makes me think about the show that you're just on the road, and it was created by, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I saw the promos talking about it was a show created by Taylor Sheridan. Is that correct too?
Yeah, that's right.
And then I didn't watch it yet because I've been on the road and
Yeah.
I don't watch TV very consistently ever. But I'm sorry I don't know more about it, but tell me about that experience being on the show and like I think Blake Shelton was a part of it in some capacity too, wasn't he? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. You
For
you
all
got
the
your facts, right?
for all the folks that have actually watched the show, I apologize. I'm sorry. Um, but it's less important. More important is your experience of it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like, I still don't know how I landed that. I have to give the glory to God because he must have just seen that I am relentless and I won't give up on my music dream. And so he's like, okay, Live Dog gets a nugget, like we're just gonna give her a little something. Because it was like a year ago and I was just sitting here and doing the less glamorous part of my job, which is like emails and like
Booking
routing
stuff.
and
Yeah.
yes, all the stuff that you're like, okay, you don't think about behind the scenes. And I was just catching up on the emails and things. And I get a call from a number I didn't have. So I answered and they were like, hi, is this Olivia Harms? And I said, yeah. And on the other end, he's like, this is Taylor Sheridan. I was
What?
just curious, like, if you'd be interested in a show that I'm putting together with Blake Shelton. And I was like, you've got to be shitting me. Like,
You're like, are
my friends
you pranking me
are
right now?
joking. Yeah, someone is like doing me wrong and I don't like it. And then I kind of realized he was for real. Um,
Ooh.
and I was like, okay, wait, though, like how? Um, and he's like,
Where'd you get
well,
my number?
yeah, like how did this happen? And I guess I had played a house concert in Fort Worth, like a really intimate house concert. And there was a few couples there. And I had remembered that I had like seen him, but you don't like just like jump to conclusions that, oh, just because Taylor Sheridan saw me, he's gonna want me on a show. Like that seems really far-fetched in my mind.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I saw you and like, thought you were all right and tucked you away. And so anyway, yeah, by the end of the day though, I'd had the call from him, had the call from a casting producer who was like, can you do a Zoom interview? And like, let's talk. And so then I was like, hold on, I got a shower and then I can like look nice instead of just look like I've been outside working or cleaning the house all day. Did the Zoom interview, and then my husband came home, and I was like, "So, how's your day?" And he's like, "Good." And I was like, "Cool, I might be on a show."
Yeah.
Just like so random, like you just don't ever think that's going to happen. But I jumped through the hoops and did the stuff that you're supposed to do, I guess, to qualify for the reality TV music competition shows. And then they did like some callbacks in Burbank with a group that was about twice the size of what they chose. And then they ended up whittling it down to 12 country music artists. And then they took us all to Nashville and we rehearsed with this great band. And they said, this is what we're going to do. You're going to go on the road, literally on tour, riding around in a bus, and you're all going to open for Keith Urban. Keith Urban's fans are going to come to watch him play a pop-up show, and you guys are a fun surprise, and they all get to vote on who their favorite. And then each night at the end of the show, one of you will go home and until we have a winner. And
Oh
so
wait.
yeah, like so crazy, like such a cool opportunity. I think as soon as I found out who the headliner was, though, I'm a very realistic person and like no like I'm not down on myself about it. I just had to be honest about how Olivia Harm's music and Keith Urban music would match and what his fan base would think of someone who's very traditional country and western. I mean, like Keith Urban is amazing, so talented, incredible, but he's not necessarily like rodeo cowboy music, which is more of what I play. And so, spoiler alert, Live Dog didn't Live Dog didn't make it to the finale, but I mean, it was a great experience, and I had just like the best time. I still can't believe that that's a sentence, that I say like, oh yeah, I was in a show with Taylor
Yeah.
Sheridan, Blake Shelton, and Keith Urban. That's
Yeah.
bizarre.
Yeah, and Taylor Sheridan just called me out of the blue to ask me if I want to be on the show. Just like, hey, Live Dog, you want to jump on the road?
Sure, man. Yeah, I'll come on your show, I
Dang,
guess.
that's neat.
So weird.
Okay, so I kind of skipped the part where we talked about your set list, and I kind of brought it up and alluded to it that I forgot what all you played, but there was a bunch of your own stuff, but then also a few covers, and since I didn't know your music yet, I hadn't been familiarized to it. The cover stuff stood out to me because it was like you say, country and western, and I'm thinking like, I think he played like "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys," if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but, like there was some really cool, like I want to say there was a CD that I had in my car that my dad and I used to listen to, and it was like country's greatest hits, and they were all from like between the 40s and the 70s. And
Yeah.
it was like the Tennessee Ernie Ford, like 16 tons, and then it was like Walking After Midnight, and then it was like there was just
Classics.
the classic stuff, but like you had a couple in there that were from that era. Or I think,
Yeah.
sorry, my I'm told it's era, not era.
I
I
mean,
gotta get
however
that
you
right.
want to say it, potato, potato, era, era. I've been
Anyways,
told I say lots of things wrong, so I ain't I ain't the judging type.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I all that music. Like people always say, "Who's your influence?" And I say, "Well, I play them." Like I think that covers are really important in the way that if you're new to my music, then you can say, "Oh, that's a song I've heard," and then maybe it piques your interest long enough to when I transition into original music again, then you're like, I had your attention. Whereas sometimes if you just play music that people haven't heard before, sometimes, especially if they're drinking, like they're not gonna like whip around and listen as much as if they're like, oh my gosh, I love this song. It's a classic. Like let's sing.
yeah,
So like Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. That's always been one of my favorites. We had to include that. Um, Sometimes we even do like Good Hearted Woman, which is a
oh
Waylon
yeah,
Jennings song. I'm trying to remember what else we did that night. I think we did Jolene, which is Dolly Parton.
yep. Remember that
Um,
now?
so most of them are old. We did Love's Gonna Live Here by Buck Owens. Most of them are like older. I think maybe some of the newest we have done is Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn. But like
Yeah,
Brooks and Dunn is
still
classic.
90s country.
Yeah, I mean it's still. I'm like, who doesn't love that song? It's just
Oh,
such a winner.
I think would I be right in saying that country and western music is not country and western music without a steel guitar sometimes?
I would
Or
agree.
the
Absolutely.
although that's I'm contradicting myself because a lot of Korb stuff, he'll have a steel guitar sometimes, but maybe it's got to be like have the big bass in there. I wonder.
Yeah,
There's a few
fiddle.
defined things. The fiddle. What's somebody said something about a fiddle the other day, where it's a fiddle if it's country music, but it's a violin if it's classical or something. It's
That's probably true.
right?
Yeah.
Are they actually the same thing? Am I not making this up?
As far as I have like knowledge, and I'm not claiming to be like a music genius. All I do is play country songs. So someone out there listening, they might scold me. But as far as I know, I think that a fiddle and a violin are basically the same instrument. There's probably differences in like how you play it, like technique.
Yeah,
Um, but I believe it just depends on which way of like music or styling you are playing it.
yeah. You don't have a violin in a country band.
No, I mean, I you could, but
Yeah,
I prefer fiddle myself.
yeah. Sorry, that I sidebar. I had to bring it up.
No,
I was trying
I
to learn something.
it is like commonly asked though. Like a lot of shows, people will come up to my fiddle player and they're like, "Nice job on the violin," and you can tell he's always like, "What the
A little
heck?"
bit offended.
Yeah, like I don't play the violin, but he'll be like, he's like, "Thank you," he's a good sport.
Yeah,
So
just a real cowboy guy, and he's just like, yeah, and it's actually thank you. I'm just gonna say thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
Oh dear.
Thanks.
Um, sorry, I want to go back to the road. It's an intriguing story because all of the American Idol, The Voice, all those different pieces, and I think probably why the show, and I don't know if they're doing it again, if it was a one-off. I have no idea if they're having another season going with the road. I don't know this. I'm sorry if I for not knowing.
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
But I like the theory of it where you're actually going out and playing shows with real people. And like you say, you don't match up well with Keith Urban. Like unfortunately, it's a totally different sound. Where if you were opening for Coulter Wall or if you're opening for Corb or somebody in that realm or those circles, like if it's Kenny Fiddler or like somebody more in our realm, it would probably be a different story. But unfortunately, Keith Urban has had more, not unfortunately, but just unfortunately for you and your style, he has a different sound and you didn't line up as well with that. Uh, but it doesn't mean anything about how different, you know, you're playing to different folks, honestly,
Oh,
with what
for
you're doing.
sure. Yeah, I think like as soon as I got booted off, like I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't like upset with myself or have regrets or anything like that because I was totally authentic to who I am, who I was. I was very thankful that they painted me like very, very true and very authentically to me. They highlighted that I came from a family ranch in Oregon and that I live on a ranch now with my husband. And I was really proud to be like their cowgirl contestant. Like they really did kind of play that up. And I was glad to see it because, sometimes you don't know if the TV land is going to like make cowboys and cowgirls and ranching look like kind of hokey or if they're going to honor it. And like I did have some comfort knowing that Taylor Sheridan was a part of it, that I was like, okay, I think he'll do us justice. Like he will, he'll do me proud and I won't look like I'm just like, hey, howdy, y'all, how the heck are you? Like at least I can
Yeah.
like just totally be me. And so at the end of it, when my time on the show came to an end, I really just walked away with like knowing I did as good a job as I could do. I wasn't feeling defeated, like, oh, I'm not good enough. And, there's definitely people who are like, oh, we're so sorry you didn't go further or, whatever. Like you get those comments. And I know that they mean well, but in reality, I'm like, I'm not though. Cause if it was a different artist, I would have had a better chance and maybe someone else on the show wouldn't have. And I think that's kind of just the way that like the cookie crumbled, if you will. So,
Yeah.
I would rather cast my net and play my very traditional country western music. And the people that watch the show are going to be like, oh, I like her. She played Hey There Cowboy and Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. Like by the end of her set, we know she likes cowboys and we're going to find her music whether she stays or goes.
Hmm.
So, I was like, I found some new friends and they're going to like me for me and hopefully I'll get to keep them.
The road part of it where I was trying to go before and I got a little lost was that the other shows don't have that road component. And like we talked about it, um, living and working on the road is not easy. And I
Yeah.
don't know what the experience was like for you. My assumption is that it was just another tour for you. And it was, if there was 12 people, then you probably only got to be around for a week or so once you were on that tour, or whatever it looked like. But like, I hope you all had kind of your own space a little bit, but they probably jammed you on a bus with 17 bunks and like you all just kind of had to survive. I'm assuming.
Yeah, thankfully it wasn't awful. I mean, like I think that we all came from different backgrounds of touring and like how some of us had already like traveled on a bus before. That I was not included in that club. I mean, we still travel around in my pickup and a trailer and we're sleeping in some really crunchy spots sometimes. But some of them had already done the bus life. Some of them hadn't like really traveled alone before. So there was like a lot of differences. And I was over here being like, I feel spoiled because I'm not like in a pickup with the boys or like traveling by myself. I've done that a lot. Like I lived out of a travel trailer for like 2 years by myself with my dogs. And then like there was just some that you could tell we all had a lot of differences. And so for me, I felt spoiled because here we are traveling in a bus. I thought that they were going to have us sleep on the bus, but I think because of, I don't know, like reasons for safety, they all had to get us our own hotel room. So we each had our own space every night to keep things kosher and safe. Like I felt totally like this is
Oh,
the life,
pretty
I've
nice.
made it. I got
Yeah.
a hotel room to myself. I like riding around on a bus. The band is great. They plug you in with your little in-ears and get you all fixed up with the band is like stellar. So it was for me like a really great experience. But I did love that they showed the world what it's like to tour. Because I think all too often in both of our like jobs, if you will, like career paths, industries, whatever you want to call it. I think people just like go to the rodeo and they're like, cool, this is fun. Like they, get on their rough stock and try to make it 8 seconds or, they try to make a good time or whatever event it is, but they don't ever think about like the miles that you have to load up and go down the road, or like blown tire, or that you're away from home, you're missing out on events, on your friends and family and people that you love, or like the home sweet hotel, different like place to lay your head every night. I used to joke about that. I still do. I'm like, I'm in a different bed every night, not the like backwards way you might be thinking, but like it's, you're like constantly going to bed somewhere else, and you have to just be able to really roll with the punches. And I think that's the same thing for a musician, is like life is different every day, and you never really know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to be shacking up in someone's house, like they're like, hey, we got some couches, but then when the show is over, you're not done, because then you're going to stay at somebody's house, and you're like having to be pleasant and like entertain them and have the conversations, to be kind, to like say thank you for letting us stay. You're missing home, you're on different time schedules with the ones that you want to be calling. You're not getting to have home cooked meals. So I was just really grateful that the show, The Road, like really kind of brought some light into that for people that how would they have any idea what we go through or what we've chose to sign up for, when then they just see us like on a stage or in an arena, like doing what we love to do, because there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes, so we can get to that like fun time.
It's so similar. The only difference on my rodeo schedule now would be that there's sometimes when I get to spend 5 or 7 days in one place, but I'm still in a hotel, or like Vegas, we're in a hotel for 2 weeks, and like going to like Starbucks every day or something, or finding a coffee from a Keurig that you find somewhere. But like for me, like I got home, we drove, of the 21 hours, I think I drove 17 hours. We drove straight through to get back home. The roads are good, so we just hauled ass. But like I was so freaking ready to get home by the end of it. But like even I would say, even like, to be open and honest about like relationships for me the past couple times, like it's difficult to have the energy to do much else when I'm on the road after a show. Like I don't want to go out and go to the bar after I go do a show anymore. Like if I'm there for 5 or 7 days, like I got enough on my schedule just to get through my workday that's already 16 hours long, or, managing the 3 different businesses. And like when I get home, I just want to be home. I don't want to go out to dinner, and I don't want to go out and do a bunch of stuff. Like I just want to kind of relax in my house, and like I like my house, and I want to just be here after I've been gone for 2 weeks. Like I'm not interested in in going and being like going to the bar and staying out till 2 a.m. Like hell no. I want to go to bed at 9:30 and sleep for 10 hours and recover, because I'm sick of the road.
That is no joke. Yeah.
Right.
I am definitely a hermit when I'm home. Like, I mean, I'm always like, you can come to me. And I don't mean that in like a conceited like way that I don't want to make effort for them. But I'm like, I will cook for you. If you want to come to my house, we can visit, we can hang out, we can like drink some wine. But I don't want to go out, because that's all we do when we're on the road, is like you say, like you're just like constantly going out for coffee, constantly going out for food, or you're staying out late on the road. And I'm like, you get so burnt out that you just want to be a hermit and like sit with the dogs and just cuddle up and like watch a show. Be normal. Just be normal.
What the average person does every Thursday or Monday to Thursday night. And we're meanwhile driving 5,000 miles a week and doing, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I've had some pretty amazing like daydreams when I've been on the road for like 4 or 5 weeks, with the band. And not to say that we don't have a great time together, or that I don't love my job, because I absolutely do. But when it gets to the end, I'm like, man, but I would give to just like have a night's sleep in my bed. Like get up and have my like coffee routine that isn't really exciting at all. It's
no,
just
but
like
it's normal. It's black
it's just
coffee
normal black
coffee.
Yep. Go on a walk like on the ranch with my surroundings, not having to like watch for stuff all the time. It's wild, the stuff you start really like it. And I think it's what keeps us grounded, is you're like, it's the little things in life. Truly, it's a reminder that like here we are out here doing all this great adventure. But at the end of the day, all that we're really like wanting is just to like have that like grounded piece of home, and like your own little like simplicities of life is what we look forward to.
Well, and I guess I got to tell you about a daydream here in a second. Uh, but I guess it makes you know that you really want to do it. As my
For
assumption is
sure.
like you got to really want to be a musician and really want to put the time in if you're going to go spend all that time away from home and be away from your husband. I'm sorry, I forget his name right now too.
That's
But he
all
was
right. His name's Russ.
Russ. He was super
Yeah.
helpful, uh, telling me about the band and everybody and all that. So I had a little bit of info and tried to. You had probably already done it and introduced the band, but I like he helped me understand who they were, and everybody got a bit of a round of applause. And I was trying to like be, was trying to do a good job of hosting. Um, but what was that? Sorry, what was my point of all that? But no, but you gotta want to. It tells you how much you want to really do it because a lot of people like my point with the road show was like some people, and I don't know what happened, but some people probably can cave under that pressure of being away. And like I said, I didn't get to watch it, but my assumption is there's probably a couple people on the show that were like, "Oh gosh, I can't do this. I want to be home. I miss my family." Like something probably happened where somebody was gone. Like if you want to get into the drama side of it, maybe it was all
Yeah.
sunshine and rainbows. I don't know, but like it's not that easy sometimes. Like even last week in Vegas, I was so sick I had to get. So luckily. Have a friend that works for Montana Silver that had a bunch of drugs and like steroids and like
Yeah.
antibiotics and like brought me a bunch of drugs because I was dying in my hotel room for 2 straight
Oh,
days. But you're on the road and you don't want to not be there and you can't go home and it costs $1,000 to fly home and it's like,
you know,
well, shit, if I don't stay here, I'm not making a living and it's like you can't not be on the road. Like some of the times it's like I don't think knock on wood. I mean, I think I've maybe missed one show day ever, but I didn't have to be there. I had
yeah.
a panic attack and thought I was dying and actually did go home, but I didn't have to be there. I still got my work done, but there's no sick days on the road either. Not technically.
No, there's really not. And like that's one another thing that people don't realize is like you don't get to call in sick. I mean, I guess you do, but you don't realize how much doing something like that can affect your reputation
Oh yeah.
or like how much it really takes its toll on us because I will have to be deathly ill before I like cancel a show. I think it's only been maybe like one or two shows that I've canceled. And maybe one of them was like a local thing where I was like, okay, I'm like really sick and I know that they're not going to care because it's like someone who kind of knows me. But if
Yeah.
you have booked something with someone who doesn't know who you are, I mean, they're just like, oh, I like your music. And like your first impression or like your show and you're meeting them and appearing and all that is going to be what they think of you. And so then to cancel, even if you say you're sick or not, like some people aren't really going to care and they're just always going to remember that you didn't show. And even
Yeah.
whether you were sick, like, I mean, that sounds kind of harsh, but I think it's the truth sometimes. And so, I mean, that's the same with like personal stuff. Like there's been a lot of times where something really hard is going on in life or like I don't know, like even like in my single life, like you're trying to make a relationship work and somebody is just like not understanding or it's just not working, like the road and being gone is way too difficult and they're like we're done. And then you're sitting there like sad and heartbroken, but you still have to go play a show that night and you have to
Ooh, yeah.
somehow like pull
Change it.
yourself out of it and smile and like deal with people's how are you, like we really like your music and like you have to wait like 7 hours before you can go have a cry because you just got to
Totally.
hold it together and like sometimes that's not what people think about, but the road was definitely like good at showing that too. I was sick and they didn't get that because I'm just like funny. I didn't want to show people that I was sick. Like I'm just like a little bit, I don't like sympathy, so I was like I'll just hold my stuff together and it's fine. But they did highlight one gal that was sick on, I mean she went through it and she was sick for like I think almost her whole time there
Oh
and
no.
like battling a cold and like not getting rest or one of my friends was really missing her son. She'd never really been away from him before and that was really hard on her. So I think they did a really good job making the show. It wasn't like totally filled with drama, which I really for because I'm not a big drama gal.
Yeah.
But they just made it realistic and like showed kind of, if you're going through something, whether you're sick, whether your heart is hurting, you still have to hold it together. Like the show goes on, right? So you have to just give the people um what they came for. They didn't come to hear a sad story or or to hear you be sick and sad. Heard they wanted to come hear music.
I gotta tell you a quick story. So I was I told you about supposed to get married in August of last year. I
Yeah.
got I got the text message at like 6:57 p.m. for a 7 o'clock show that I had to play the music for. Like I play the music at shows, and I got that at like 6:57, and I was like, oh shit. And she was leaving and like took her shit and went to her sister's house.
Oh
And then
my
I had to work
gosh.
a fucking perf that night.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
it
and
was
like
such a
hold it
kick in the nuts.
together
Oh yeah. It was just like,
and be
oh
like,
my
I'm
God.
fine. I'm fine. Like my world is falling apart, but I'm fine. Yeah, there's not like
Yeah.
there's no other way for like people to really understand it, I guess, unless they've been through it. But like
Yeah.
when that happens, it totally sucks. Cause like, yeah, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm not hurting. No, let's go do a
I'm
freaking
fine. I'm
show.
fine. And I didn't tell
Yeah.
anybody till like at the end because I was like, well, okay, all right, we got to start the opening. It's like the pyro's about to go off in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, all right, moving on.
All right. So that was my life blowing up right there. Pyro off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
And
man.
but then like 2 weeks later, I was like pretty down. Like I was explained to it by the one of the kids. They said you were down bad, and I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Being down bad, and I was like on the road again because I had to go do another show the next week while she moved her stuff out of my house. And then I'm
Yeah.
just like, well, this kind of sucks. But then I just decided I'm like, no, actually, it's a fresh start. And then within like 2 weeks, I had met somebody else, and I think they call that a rebound. But anyways, just rolling
Sometimes
on, having a great time.
you gotta have a distraction sometimes, like something.
Oh, I did not
Oh,
expect this to go this way, Olivia. I'm sorry. We probably need to get back on track. My bad.
oh, it's all right. I mean, like I told you, I'm a pretty open book. I don't really have anything on my to do to talk list, so we're good.
I think Chet will appreciate this show. Some of the because he's probably heard some of the stories. I guess if you all have been friends for a while.
Yeah. So I guess we can do like a little a highlight on Chet and Tara, but like sometimes music brings you some of like the craziest things. Like music introduced me to my husband. He is not
At
a
a festival.
musician. Yes, at a festival. Zach Bryan was playing. And like crazy thing. I've played and I've been so fortunate to like play so many places around the world since my mom was a musician and I grew up around music. But the festival was in my hometown of Canby, Oregon. And so it was like so wild that this festival and Zach Bryan brought my husband and his best friend up from Northern California, like 7, 8 hour drive to go hear Zach Bryan. And I meet my husband in my hometown. Like, how bizarre is that? Like, of all the places I've looked for a husband and trying to be like, is this the one?
And then
And he's just like,
didn't your mom drive him home?
yeah, my mom did. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, you got the full story. Yeah, my mom came with me to the music festival because, it's my hometown. And I was like, well, cool. Like, my mom came and she's like, woo woo up front. And then we get done with the show and it's like 2 p.m., Rager afternoon. And then I was like, well, I have a Saturday afternoon, evening free. And that never happens for me. So why don't we hang out and listen to the music? And my mom's down. She's so fun. She's the best. So she's like, sure, let's hang out. And finally, she's like, do you see this guy over here? He keeps looking at you. You should say hi. And I was like, nah,
No, mom, I don't want to do
I,
that.
I'm done with that. Like, we're all due respect. Like, I was in my little era where boys are dumb and focus on me. So, like, that was my mindset. And she's like, okay, but he keeps looking at you. You should go say something. And like, total truth is, I was like, well, I gotta go to the bathroom and he's on my way. So I walked by him and I was like, hey, that's a nice shirt. I talked for a minute, like thinking I was gonna appease my mom. And then I was like, oh, I guess he's like sort of attractive. So then finished that up and then like went to the bathroom and I was like coming back and I was like, okay, well, we'll see you later. And then I went and told my mom, and she was like, yeah, that did go really bad. We need to leave. I think like that was pretty rough. So yeah, so we left for like an hour and a half, and I thought surely he'll be gone. Like there's no way that he's going to be in the same spot. But we got back to watch the next show. I think it was Red Shahan, and she's like, he's coming over. He's coming over, and I was like, okay. And so, yeah, then we had some drinks and, he pulled the old, can I buy you a drink, you and your mom? And I was like, sure. So then we hung out, and turned out like I didn't scare him off. And my mom was like, well, you let me know when you need to ride home, because like the ranch is only 20 minutes away. So I called her when I was ready to go home, and he's like, do you think your mom could give me a ride to the Motel 6? It's like 2 miles down the road. Like 2 in the morning. And like, oh yeah, mom's a homie. She'll drive you to the Motel 6.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, music brought me my husband. Music brought me my best friend. Chet is not my best friend, but he has become a good friend because his wife is my best friend, and she hired me. She hired me to come play like some backyard concert thing. And I was like, sure. I was playing Tom Horn Days in Wyoming, and she was in Evergreen, Colorado. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of on my way. So I guess I can come play your backyard party if this date works for you. And she's like, yeah, you can come stay in our barn. And I was like, all right, that sounds sketchy, but sounds good enough. I've stayed in barns before. And you just like have no idea what you're getting into. That's got to be what it is with some rodeos too, where you're like, I have no idea what I'm in for, and I'm just kind of like gambling and gonna see what the outcome is, and we'll be fine. But turns out she's a really cool gal, and by the end I was like, you and I are gonna be pals.
That's cool. I haven't stayed in any barns. I don't think on the
Okay.
road. No, I don't think so on the rodeo trail. But I was gonna say she probably
Nice.
had a nice barn. Like it was probably
She
like
had a really nice
a
barn.
nicer barn
It
than you
was
thought.
Yeah, it wasn't a barn. It was more of like a party house for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've also stayed in some barns before.
Actual
Like some
barns.
rough spots.
Yeah.
My friend Wyatt, my fiddle player, he stayed in a horse stall.
Oh.
And this just last summer, 2 summers ago or something. And
Oh.
I slept in my pickup because I was like, I can't
not
do
staying
it.
in the barn.
There's mice and who
Oh,
knows what
wow.
else. And I'm gonna camp it out in the pickup. Wyatt took some cot in a horse stall, and he was
No
a
way.
brave little soldier. Yeah,
Oh,
he's like,
wow.
I'll take this one for you, live dog.
Jeez.
Okay.
But that's like you're somewhere that somebody offered you a place to stay, but it probably wasn't what it was cracked up to be, and then you're like not making enough money to really go buy a hotel, and you're probably too far from a hotel, and
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
then like, what
well,
do you do too? Like, how do you get out of it? Like that's where I struggle so much, is when someone's like, you can come stay at our place. And I'm like, oh, that's such a big help. Great. And so then you arrive, and then you're kind of assessing it, and you're like, shit, this
uh-oh,
is not.
uh-oh.
But then they're like excited to have you. And then you're like, what do I just like bluntly say? This is not up to par for me. I need to go. Like that sounds so awful. And so
The
sometimes I'm just like, I'll suck it up, I guess, get through it so I don't hurt their feelings.
there was one time we were in it was Nova Scotia, Canada, like way out on the East Coast, like it's essentially straight north of like New York State.
Yeah.
And we were scheduled to stay in this like bed and breakfast place with like some of the crew, and my brother was with me because he came with me on this trip. And we walked into this bed and breakfast place, and the floors were just like plywood. And we go up to our rooms, and it was like there was an older lady that was like smoking cigarettes in the house. And I was like, JD, do you want to go find somewhere else to stay? Because this place sucks.
Yeah.
And I was like, and we hadn't like really committed to anything. And like, I was like, place is gross. Like, I don't want to stay here for 4 days. Like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And
No
then,
way.
but what I did was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna get some groceries. And then we just totally ghosted the lady. We just like never came back.
Well, in cases like that, I think that's your best bet, truly. Like, what else do
Yeah.
you do? I think it's so much more damaging to her if you're like, this place is a bummer. I
Yeah.
can't stay here.
Yeah.
So
But I
I'm
couldn't stay
out.
there with the cigarette smoke. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to be
Yeah.
that guy. But that's what we did it. So if you ever get in a jam again, just like, yeah, I gotta get some groceries, and then you just, unless you're working for the person, you just like don't come back. You're like, yeah,
That's a
sorry.
good secret.
Yeah, that one worked out for me that time.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try it. Yeah,
I'm
I
just gonna
did
get some good
the
bite to eat in town.
I did the old like one time we had one that was like pretty bad. And I like kind of told the boys, I was like, I'm gonna come up with something. Like just give me a little time. I'll come up with something. And so I was like, pack all your shit. We're not coming back here. I have to figure it out. But then we went to the show and I just like sent a text and I was like, oh, what a surprise. The venue has a place for us to stay.
Yeah.
So like, whoopsies next time. And then just like hope that they didn't hate me. But sometimes you're like, I can't, it smells bad. Like my standards, I'm a pretty good tomboy because I grew up on I'm not a girly girl. I try not to be a prima donna girl. I travel with cowboys, so and they haven't got tired of me. So I feel like somehow that makes me like a little bit redeemable as a girl, a traveling girl. But there's certain things where you can't, when there's rats or like the smell of mold or like rat pills or mouse poop. Like I just can't. I can't do it. Or the bugs in the bed. Mm-mm.
I was in a Motel 6 in Fallon, Nevada one time, and we had just got there, and I think we'd maybe slept the night before in the Motel 6, and it was like it seemed nice enough. But it was myself and the guy's name was Clayton Hines. He was like a rodeo mentor for me very early on, like Canadian champion bronc rider. One Salinas,
awesome.
Salinas.
Yeah.
He wore a Salinas buckle forever. And he was like him and his family were like really, really great to me. But we were both laying on the bed and just kind of like, I think I was reading a book or like, I don't know what we were doing, texting back my mom because I was there with them. And then a mouse ran between the beds.
Oh, yeah. Nope.
And we both looked at each other. We're like, I think we need to get a different room. And then I think I stayed in the tent at the rodeo grounds the rest of the week. Because I was like, I ain't staying in a hotel with them mouse running between the beds.
No. I mean, like, there's just certain things you're like, I can't do this. And I certainly can't pay for this.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
That was the wildest one I think I had for a hotel. But anyways, where are we at? What else do we have to talk about still? This has been a lot of fun. Time's kind of flown by.
Yeah, it's been really good and easy. I don't know what else. We covered the road.
Yeah.
New music, I guess. I have new music coming out next year.
Tell me about that. And tell me about as far as the writing side of things go. I've talked to a few different people and I don't know where it came from now, but it was something where like the A artists get like the fanciest, like the best songs from the best writers. The B artist gets some leftovers, and the C artists are like different people like have to write their own stuff to get something good because all the best stuff coming from the other, like from the top writers in Nashville, all go to those like A artists. To where if you're new, you have to come up with your own stuff. Otherwise, unless you're Taylor Swift, like you're not getting that hand up off the bat. I think, right? Am I saying that right?
No, you're spot on. Like there's definitely a tier and like just like a way that they handle it. And I mean, it's not that surprising, I guess, but it is also just kind of a bummer for, like people if they do struggle with writing, that then they don't get to like have an upper hand or anything when it comes to picking songs. But I'm grateful that I've always written. So like I started writing songs when I was really little. And then I wrote enough for like my first album when I was 16, and I recorded it's not really like a great representation of Olivia Harm's music now because I was 16 years old and I was writing about boys in high school. That's what that album like pretty much consists of. So it's not on Spotify or anything like that. I'm pretty sure someone like if we put it on Spotify, tangent, and someone listens to Hey There Cowboy, and then like next thing you know, like this song comes on about like sounds like a teeny bopper singing about her like sophomore year crush. I just feel like that would really give a skewed view of like marketing for Olivia Harm's music. So we've kept that off. It's its own separate thing. Like if you really are a big fan, you can find it like on the website or like other little nugget places. But
SoundCloud.
Anyhow, yeah, SoundCloud. If you got to dig deep to find the debut album
from Live Dog, Live Dog's deep cuts from 2004.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah. So thankfully, like I've always written and like I've hopefully gotten better with time. And so like the music that you hear now, like the stuff on Spotify or like my first second album, I guess, the first album on Spotify, but my second album out, and then the singles that have come out since. That's all been my writing or like co-writing. And I think in a way, when you write your own music, you sometimes are able to have it be so much more authentic because it really does come from a place of truth. Like This Ain't My First Rodeo, I wrote that all by myself, and it's been one that like a lot of people have really liked and related to. And whether that's because they just like the jam, or whether they're like, yeah, I mean, we're constantly in the same boat where, we travel one place and then meet someone, but it doesn't work out because we signed up for this crazy life where we're always moving. Like that's, I think, because it came from a true place, and people kind of have a sixth sense for when something is real and maybe when it's not. And so music and like writing for me has always kind of been that, like a little bit of truth put into a song where I can't just like make random shit up. I has to come from a real experience. And so like the music that's going to come out in 2026, I have a song about a bull rider, which is like a true story. I dated a bull rider one time. So we got a song about that for all you bull riding friends. And then we got like a honky tonk song coming out. And then the newest one, I got to get it recorded. But I guess you might have heard it. We debuted it in Vegas, and I wrote it just in November. I was driving through West Texas, and I've always loved Marty Robbins and, like some of that really like old country Western music. And I've always loved that song, Riders in the Sky.
Ooh.
And so I was like way out in West Texas where there's nothing to do except look at wide open spaces. And I was listening to some of that music. And I was like, I think that Riders in the Sky needs like a female perspective. Like, what if she was dating and like he dragged her out to the middle of nowhere and she's sitting there like, you just work for this ranch, like the 4-6s, for example, you just work for them. And, like, what the heck am I supposed to do out here? You don't have a share in the ranch. You're just a day working guy. And I hate it out here. And then she leaves him. And then like, the ranch takes his soul because it's all he ever does. And so before I knew it, I had a new song written, and it's called Riding in the Sky. So it's different, just slight change. So that one will be out in 2026 too. And my husband really likes it. Chet really likes it, Tara. So I'll have to send you like an acoustic version, and maybe we'll see if Ted likes it too.
Yeah. I'm interested in the Bull Rider song. I wonder if there's any derogatory bull riding comments about that side of things. I'm not sure.
No, I was pretty nice, honestly. I was very nice. Yeah, I wrote the song when the guy was good to me, so it's okay.
Good. Okay, good. I'm hoping the bull rider guy wasn't giving us a bad name.
Nah, no, it's okay. You're all good. I think most of y'all are all good.
Okay. I haven't ridden a bull since 2013, so it's a previous life mostly now, but good memories, lots of fun. The oh geez, it honestly sounds like I know that I remember that one now because I heard it and I was like, oh, this is like, it really makes sense for the life that I get to live too. Like I know it's I've never got into this part of the conversation with any artists before. We've talked to lots of different folks on the show before, like you might have looked up who we've talked to and whatnot, or maybe you didn't. I don't know, but we never talked about this side of it. But it's really, it seems more authentic in the sense of like, it makes sense for the show that you were on with the Taylor Sheridan side of things. But like this part doesn't get talked about very much.
No, it doesn't. Like I feel like there's so many things that are like assumed or that we talk about, or like that people see on Instagram or however they follow our music, but like they don't ever get to really know us or get to like know what we're going through or kind of like what the journey outside of just being on stage is like. And I'm always like, I'd rather have doesn't mean I don't love my job, just doesn't always mean that it's like so fun. Like, it's a normal job just like any other thing, and I'm beyond blessed that I get to live a life and make a career out of something that I love. But like it's got its hard days too, and its hard things are just different than what people might assume they are.
Yeah, true. Very true. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this, Olivia. That was a lot of fun.
No, it was so fun. Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, no worries. So we can find Olivia Harms on Spotify Apple Music, and you better throw in your website name because I did not get that part written down yet. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I almost said livedog.com, but
You better buy that URL.
yeah, oliviaharms.com. Livedog.com can be like the dark web or something. I don't know. I don't know what we'd sell there, but
That's Chet's fan page.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't know about it yet. Yeah.
He better make one. Maybe he needs to get with you and like
Yeah.
figure out how to have like a super fan page or something. There'd be like 3 people on there that really love me that much, but
That's funny.
you know, still, yeah, oliviaharms.com has tour dates, swag, like I don't know, links to social if you get really bound up and you can't seem to find it on your own. We got links on there, all the good stuff. So
well, once again, thanks for joining us from the Brahma Boot Studio on our side and the ranch in Oregon. Is this right? Since 1872?
Yeah, I'm actually at the ranch in California. So my husband has a ranch, my parents have a ranch, and I float around, I guess.
Back and forth.
Yeah, from my living room to your studio. It's been fun.
Exactly. International podcast. So thanks for joining us.
I love it. Thanks, Ted.